Hey everybody, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Celandria. It is 2026 and I am so happy to be here with you guys. Last year was like a year of true self-discovery, a year of truly understanding who I am. And so I feel like I'm back on the channel, I'm back on the page, ready to share that self-discovery with you guys and ready to go through it with you all as well. So what is heavy, not heavy, but what is really on my mind to talk about right now is your own sauce, right? Like feeling yourself, having your own sauce. So, not all last year, starting in the summer of last year, I started doing live music performances. So, I've been taking singing classes for like the past 2 or 3 years. I can't remember now. I think it's 3 years. I had to take a year off. Yeah, I took a year off. So, I've been singing with a vocal coach for the past 2 to 3 years. And I've had like, my recitals and things like that with my vocal coach. And then this year I got the opportunity to go out and sing live shows in front of audiences. And I know that I can sing. I know that I have a voice. I know that I'm beautiful, all of these things, but it was just really hard for me to shake that stage fright. And it was really hard for me to show up. So the first thing that I learned was how to sing through the nerves. Learned that. Now the next thing that I'm working on is showing up to the nerves. And then that opens up a whole Pandora's box of inner work. That is what I want to bring here with you guys today. So in the realm and the arena of being seen, we typically think about, confidence, um, inner strength, things of that nature. Like we think about, oh, just be confident, make sure that you look good, make sure that you feel good, and then you'll do great. And I'm realizing it's so much more than that. Like, I like my outfits. My hair looks good. I look good. I think that I look good. Are there things that I want to work on? Of course, any woman does. But for the most part, for this stage performance, I look good. But there was a power issue that was happening between me and the audience and like all of these people being able to see me. I was not able to hold my power in those moments. And I've learned now just through like all of these self audits to understand what is going on. This is coming from me never really having the freedom to explore my own sauce, me never having the freedom as a young girl to like feel myself. You know what I'm saying? And I notice some people do get that right. Some people do have the opportunity in their childhood and their developmental ages to feel themselves. I did not get that, right? I come from a lot of like good girl, nice girl, be kind, be of service, be useful, um, be empathetic type of programming, right? I grew up, I went to Catholic school, all of these things. And so there's just so much of this nice girl programming, this nice, shy, kind girl programming that like when you get on stage, you have to have like um, this cocoon around you, or you have to really be inside of yourself in order to present something to the audience, right? I can't go up there wide open looking for the audience's reaction, or else I'm going to be unstable in myself. And so I didn't understand, I didn't have that internal seating, that internal position in order to be able to get up and get on stage and to own the stage, to own my voice, to own my presence, and all of these things. It's uncovered so many freaking different things. I've also learned this year that I'm a woman of presence. I call it a woman of presence. And this, everything ties together. So there's this presence, right, that I carry. Other people have told me that I have a presence, and I'm just like, I don't know. What are you trying to say? I'm pretty? Like, I just didn't understand what they were saying. But now I'm beginning to understand. Like, there's just some people having magnetism to them that draws attention and draws critique. So growing up, I got a lot of critiques about like little minute things, like how heavy I walked, like stupid stuff. Or like, I remember not too long ago, this isn't even as a kid, I'm a pretty like conscious, self-aware person. I get a lot of like downloads from source. I'm a journaler. I follow my intuition heavily, all of those things. So I'm like the spiritual, tuned in, tapped in friend. And I was talking to a former friend and I was telling her something like, I don't know, I think maybe we're on the phone and she's like, what are you doing? I said, watching TV, or I'm about to buy a TV. I mentioned something about TV and she was like, you watch TV? I'm like, who the fuck doesn't watch TV? Yes, I watch TV. Why wouldn't I watch TV? And it's like these different like monitoring not monitoring spirits, but the way that people monitor you and what you do. And when you do things that don't fit their idea of you, it's like shocking to them. And they're like, you do this and you do that, and you wear that, you eat that, you do that. And it's just like, for me, it's always been like, how did you even notice that? I don't care what anybody else around me is doing. As long as it's not like actually affecting me, I don't care. And it's not even like when they're like, you do this or you do that, it's not a curiosity thing. It's like a shock thing. It's like a and it's just like, it feels like they're keeping tabs on me or who I am. And when I do something that doesn't fit who they thought I was, it's a shocker to them. But that let me know that I have a presence that people are like watching. And I'm like, what? So even when I get on stage, sometimes I can notice before I even get on the stage, before anybody knows that I'm the performer, I can see the attention. And I'm like, bro, I'm just in the space. Like, what do you want? I'm just in the space. So when you carry that type of presence, and you know that you carry that type of presence when you're a person who has been constantly critiqued throughout your life by people that you don't even necessarily notice, or by people that you do notice certain things that they do and you don't care. Like, that's just who that person is. You know what I'm saying? It's like, who cares? If you watch TV and you're spiritual, that's awesome. If you're spiritual and you eat carnivore, that's incredible. Like, tell me more. But it's not like a you do that. People who do this don't do that. You know what I'm saying? I don't, it's very, very weird to me. So then I started to recognize, like, okay, I have a presence where people are keeping, like, they see me, they notice every little thing that I'm doing. I hate it. I really do. Like, bro, mind your business. Find you something to do. But it comes with the territory, right? And so learning how to own yourself through all of those critiques from when you were 4 years old up until however old you are now. You know what I'm saying? And it's difficult and it's hard because the owning of your energy shifts the person that you are. Not because you as a person change, which you do, but it's not because, like, at your core you're a different person, but it's because when you become a more owned, self-contained, self-possessed person, self-validated person, now people are putting you in the categories of difficult, of a bitch, of hard to work with, of self-possessed, of self-centered, of she thinks she's all that, of you're doing too much. So it's really weird. It's like, you can be a woman of presence, and as long as you are unaware of that and you are useful to other people, then it's like, okay, we like you, we'll take you in. But they'll never necessarily express to you your value. They'll never tell you how valuable you are. Maybe I don't think they even have the words to be able to express it or to be able to quantify it. I don't think that I think it's a subconscious thing. I don't think it's a consciously purposeful thing. Some people do it consciously. Some people are just trifling. That's the nature of their spirit. But many, I just think that they're not even aware. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people are like, well, if you're going to let me take it, then I'm going to take it. You know what I'm saying? Though that's the mindset. But then the moment that you guard what it is that they're trying to take, they're like, oh, come on, don't be a bitch. Like, I've had a couple of experiences. There was a time that I had a family member who wanted me to come and take some pictures for this project that she was doing. I said, sure, I can come and take the pictures, but I can't drive to the place. I'll drive to your house, but I can't drive to your place because at the time, I think my car didn't have insurance or something like that. My car didn't have insurance, or my license was expired. Something was going on. But I knew that I could drive from my house to her house. I knew those roads. I knew those streets. I knew the police, where they were. Like, I knew I could get there. But then from there, we were going to take an hour and a half drive there and then an hour and a half back. So I'm like, oh yeah, I'm not chancing that. I'm going to be in another city. I'm on the highway, state troopers. Mm-mm. I'll drive to your house. I'm not driving to the location. I said that before I pulled up. She said, okay. When I got there, she's like, come on, just drive. I've explained to this person that my car is not up to par. Okay. I've explained that my car is not up to par. And I've already gone through experiences where I've driven and my car was not up to par and had to pay like $1,500 to get it out. The whole family found out because somebody had to lend me the money. It was like a whole thing, right? These are my younger teenage years. Not teenager, I'm lying. These are my like younger, early 20s years, right? When you're just like irresponsible. So, but I learned from that lesson a little bit. So I'm like, yeah, I'm not taking no hour and a half drive, babe, to go take no pictures. Like, you have to figure out how we're going to get there. I will take the pictures. I'm doing the pictures for free. I don't mind, whatever. I don't know how we got to get there, but I'm there for that. I just won't drive. And it was like, she was like really pushing me. And it was just like a firm, like, girl, I told you no. I told you what it was before I got here. You know what I'm saying? And so I remember she was like, come on, Solange, don't be such a bitch. And I'm like, how is me not wanting to get in my hot car and drive an hour and a half into the deep south of Georgia being a bitch? No, girl, that's intelligent. That's smart. And this person was my senior. This is a family member who was my senior. Like, my senior. You feel me? I'm like, girl, if this is what a bitch is, all right, I'm cool with that, right? And then later on, she told another family member, like who's known for being more like bitchy or whatever. She was like, "Oh, I can tell that you've been hanging out with Slanger because she's becoming such a bitch now." So what I'm saying is, it's hard because boundaries, standards, just firm no's. It doesn't even. I don't have to yell. I don't have to scream. A no is a no is a no is a no is a no for me. That's where I'm at now. A no is just a no. That will make you be considered a bitch. To not give away your energy, your power, your usefulness freely in a way that does not benefit you or a way that does not feed you will be considered mean. You know what I'm saying? And at the core of myself, the sweet little girl that I didn't want to be considered mean. Like, that's the last thing I want to ever be. There's nothing about me that's mean. I just can't take this ride because I can't afford to pay another $1,500 bill. I learned that lesson. I can't do it again. You know what I mean? That's where my mind is at. But when you come from a person who was a nice girl, less boundaried, less standards, but people can see your gifts, right? You know that you want me to come and take these pictures. You're not paying me to come and take these pictures. You know what I'm saying? Which, whether she did or didn't, I genuinely don't care. I'm just coming to help my family member out, whatever. We'll go take some pictures and be done. But they see the value, right? The usefulness of you, but they won't respect you. And so learning to disregard whether or not they respect you and own that presence so that you can show up in spaces that where you can stay authentic to yourself, because that's the next piece of it, right? When you are self-possessed, when you are self-owned, when you can um, feel yourself, right? That's where your sauce comes from. That's where your magnetism comes from. That's where your algorithm working in your favor comes from. That's how you manifest. Like, you have to be kind of like in your own energetic bubble. And when you're used to being so external with everything instead of internal, meaning like focused on how everybody else around you is feeling to determine how you feel versus, I don't know how y'all feel, but how I feel, and doing the things that I need to make sure that I feel good and I feel aligned. That is a sauce. You know what I'm saying? That's your own little flavor camp. That is, every time I think about it, it makes me think of that Beyonce Nicki Minaj song. I'm feeling myself. 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 You know what I'm saying? So it makes me think of that. And it's a scary place to be when you've been highly critiqued all of your life, because the moment that you start feeling yourself, it throws everybody off, because you have that presence to where any shift that you make that is not a part of their narrative of you is like, what is that? What is she doing? What are you? You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh my God, calm down. And it makes me think, like, the name of the channel is called The Fluid Femme. And I call it the fluid femme because I feel like I'm a woman who flows through different archetypes. I'm a very fluid woman. I can be, I can be mean. You know what I'm saying? I can be rowdy if I need to. I can be calm. I can be classy. I can be a damsel. I can be a mother. I can be a nurturer. I can flow through all of these different archetypes of what the feminine is. And that confuses people because they meet you one way and they just believe they meet you one way, or They look at you and they decide that because you're dressed like this, talk like this, walk like this, drive like this, whatever, they just have their own idea of what an archetype is. They will put you in that archetypal box. But when you're a fluid woman, you don't fit into any of these archetypal boxes. Whatever I feel like being, right? Because I'm feeling myself, I'm in tune with myself, I know myself, and I allow myself the space to move around, it does, it has an effect on people. And that is a power. That is a power. It's just about learning, how do I manage and own that power? And how do I not let these people's critiques, responses, triggers to me affect me? And that's when you get into the self possession, you get self owned, and it's all about your energy. And one of my biggest affirmations for 2025 was I'm not responsible for how, excuse me, I'm not responsible for how other people feel. I'm genuinely, like, scientifically, I'm not responsible for how you feel. Your past experiences determine how you feel. Your past stories, how you identify with yourself is determining your feeling experience, not me. I don't have the power that you want to give me so bad, right? I just don't. Granted, I may have done something that triggers that feeling for you. I may have done something that brings back a memory or a story for you, but I did not plant the seed of the memory or the story. It was already there. And so that nice girl before would have taken responsibility for that. This one now understands, because she has mantraed it so much and she understands the science of it all now. I'm not responsible for that. And the weight that has left me, just by reminding myself that I'm not responsible for other people's emotions. I'm not responsible for how they respond and react to things. Each human being is responsible for that, for themselves. Sure, I may have triggered something in you. I'm not responsible for how you react, right? Say I do something to piss somebody off, and I apologize. The apology doesn't matter until they decide to accept the apology and let it go. Ultimately, they are the operant power. There you go. Everybody is the operant power in their own reality. Once I recognize that I'm the operant power, I can't keep allowing these people's critiques and their critiques and criticism is the same. I can't keep allowing their critiques, their judgments, their opinions, all of these things to determine who I am and how I show up and how much of my power I can carry all at one time. It's just not their decision to make. It is mine ultimately. And that is the work. That is the work. That is the work. That is the work. And also, owning the slurs. That'll be a whole separate video of owning I think it begins with, because it's there, it's yours, it's natural, it wants to come up, it's ready to come up. You know what I'm saying? The owning of that energy. That's not the hard part. The hard part, in my experience, has been getting through the slurs, the bitch, the self centered, the you think you're better, you think you're all that, you changed, you're this, you're that, you premeditated this, you, all of the things that people want to project on you, learning how to duck. That's why little Kim was doing this. That's why little Kim had to get her Spy Kids on. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody is throwing something at you. And you really have to learn how to, like, consume the slurs. You can't keep rejecting. If you reject it, it affects your own energy field, right? It messes with your energy. It messes with your algorithm. It messes with your experiences. So I can't resist. If I can't resist, I have to consume. So that must mean that I have to become okay with becoming these things, because that's your own personal story. So then it's weird, because then it's like, wow, it's really disconnecting me from people in a way that collectively is considered to be dangerous. But internally, for me, is necessary to protect myself. The opposite is dangerous. To keep placating to the collective idea of what it means to be a good person and a part of a collective, that's dangerous to the well-being of Salandria and to what God has put inside of me to do on this planet. If I keep placating to you people, I never actually live the life God put here for me to live. And that's a waste. And the time is limited. Why would I waste it on the fleeting emotions of other people? But as an empath, you can't say that. I think I've actually outgrown. Can you outgrow empathy? I think I've outgrown empathy into like highly sensitive or something. Because I would before say that I was a very empathetic person, and I still have that empathy. It's just no longer, you can't weaponize it anymore. The weaponizing my empathy, good luck. That will backfire. I'm not responsible. I don't have no kids. I ain't responsible, baby. So that's what we're going to be going into on this channel. That's what I'm discovering more of 2026. And I am excited to see how this helps me on stage. You know what I'm saying? Like really consuming and digesting those slurs. And every time I do it, seeing how I can show up more and more and more and more because I'm not scared anymore, right? There's like this collective, like, fear, shame, and guilt thing that you hurdle that you have to like get over. And so I'm actively getting over that. And I want to share that with you guys on this channel. So that looks like for me, getting into my dream body. I've been so afraid of getting into my dream body just because I feel like it's going to disconnect me from people that I love, right? It makes it, when you make lifestyle changes like that, dietary, exercise, how you sleep, when you wake up, what you do when you first wake up, those things, they do shift the relationships around you because you just have new requirements. And when you have new requirements, the people that knew you before are like, oh, you're doing too much now. Oh, you think you're too good now. Oh, you're doing, oh, she has to go meditate. You know what I'm saying? And it's funny and it's a joke, but it's not funny and it's not a joke. You know what I mean? It is a trigger for other people. So when you decide to really take yourself seriously and live your life for yourself and own your energy and own your power and all the good stuff, it just unintentionally causes a lot of tension around you. And you have to like really get self-centered and self-collected in order to be able to get through that contentious phase. So that's what we're working on. I hope that you guys like, follow, subscribe. Let me know how this is showing up in your life if it is. And let's go on this journey together. Thank you so much. My name is Salandria.